This is the last video of the week, and this is also the last video of the month, which is crazy. Get ready for May. You know that tomorrow all 3 grades are due according to the Google Classroom for this week. So if you haven't done your scales yet, why? I know you have a lot going on. But so you have a little bit of wiggle room with that, but at the same time, I'm not trying to stress you out on Friday. So we are on April 30th, and today we're going to go ahead and review how to look at chords and know the numbers or the Roman numerals. So how do we analyze chords? And this is what your grade tomorrow was all about. So if you're looking at the key of E major, these chords are going to start every single time with a 1 chord. I promise. That's true for tomorrow as well. Key of G major, it starts on G. That's a 1 chord. Starts on G. These are both your 1 chord. You only need to add 1 label for those. Let's scroll. Key of C major. C in the treble clef. C in the bass clef. You're looking at your 1 chord right here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add the labels on the treble clef chords because you know that this chord here with the root of E and this chord here with the root of E, they're the same chord as each other. Beat 1, that's the same chord on treble and bass. Beat 2, that is the same chord on treble and bass. So for all of this, you only have 4 answers to tell me. All right, so we are in the key of E major. Our chord has a root of E, and in this key, that means that it is our 1 chord. It started on the name of the key. That'll always be true for us. Now, what we can do is we can use this information to focus on your favorite clef. For me, it's treble clef. I feel more comfortable there. And just label these. Then you don't really have to worry about your bass clef at all, because this answer that we just typed is true for this chord. So you're good to go. And when we label this chord, that answer will be true for this chord. All right, so if your 1 chord is here on E, and this 2nd chord starts way up here on the letter A, E is the 1 chord, F is the 2 chord, G is the 3 chord, and A is the 4 chord. Now I happen to be pretty familiar with Roman numerals, so I do know how to write this. If you don't, 1, 2, 3, 4, go back to your chart and count over, make sure that you know how to write. You don't want to accidentally call this a 6 chord when you knew the whole time that it was a 4 chord. All right, so we are looking back again to where our 1 chord lives. It has a root of E, and this chord is right below it. This is on letter D, and so we're going to count. If we had our chart right here, we would be using our chart. E is the root of the 1 chord, F is the root of the 2 chord, G is the root of the 3 chord, A is the root of the 4 chord, B is the root of the 5 chord, C is the root of the 6 chord, and D is the root of the 7 chord. You can also take a look and see that this has to be the 7 chord, because if this is 1, this is 7. If this is Do, this is T. They're just a step away. So don't be afraid of those chords that are below the starting chord. It's always a cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you're looking at a 1 chord that's really, really high and everything else is below it, you can still use the alphabet to solve those. Our 7 chord starts on letter D. Our 7 chord starts on letter D. Again, that 1 label covers both of these, so we're ready to move on. Ooh. This is very close to our one chord again. If our one chord starts on the lowest line, our something chord starts just above it. So we can use musical alphabet real quick. If our one chord starts on E, our two chord starts on F. And we are looking at the letter F. In the treble clef, we have F, A, C, and E making the word face. Ooh, I did not mean to do that. Let me delete those. I was trying to highlight. We're looking at an F right here. Delete, delete. The root of F means we have a two chord. And you can see the relationship between the one chord and the two chord. Now, if you want to type this in instead of printing it and taking a picture of this, here's how you can. You go to your classwork tab, view the assignment Chord Analysis Classwork 1. Of course, yours is not in the key of E major, but that's okay. And then you can create, if you like, a private comment. And you can say your answer that we found right here as these labels. So you could say, if you were in the key of E major, and if this really was your answer, 1, 4, 7, 2. 1, 4, 7, 2. And then you asked for 2 different keys, so you'd have one more to type. But you can turn this in just like this. It saves you a little bit of time. Of course, you're not asked for E major for tomorrow's grade. You're asked for C major and G major, I believe. So hopefully this one falls right in the middle, which is just like what we did when we practiced how to write a scale. So I'm trying to give you as many clues as possible. If you don't know how to write these accurately yet, look at the chart and count your way over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tomorrow you'll be working with G major and C major. Yes, correct. Your instructions say label the chords below with their Roman numeral chord symbols. Here they are in the chart, which are the same on both the treble clef and the bass clef. That's right, you have 4 answers for number 1. Ooh, I can't highlight that. For all of this. Wow, I really can't highlight that. For your entire musical excerpt here. 4 answers. And for number 2, 4 answers. And then you'll type the chart in down below. So my private comment would want to include that chart. That's true. So I'd say E equals 1, F equals 2, G equals 3, and so on and so forth. If you want to say E equals do, you can do that too. If you don't have the charts, but all of your Roman numerals are correct, I will still be happy. Whew! What this is really doing is it's taking how to write chords and it's reversing it to make sure that you really have this skill. Because if you can look at chords and add the labels, you can look at labels and write the chords. So we're just seeing if you can do it backwards. So it draws on that same skill that we've been working on since before the DC trip. You guys have been doing this for so long. So don't worry, don't be stressed. If you need to, watch this video again on Friday and work carefully counting those lines and spaces to make sure your Roman numerals are exactly how you want them for each key. And that completes week 5. Nice job. You just took your test, technically. And now we're going to move on to a new topic next week. So it's going to be a whole lot of different stuff, a little bit lighter in tone, and I'm really excited to work on this in May with you. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you next week.